All right, how's it going? My name's IPA Fan. This is Church of Chug. Today we are going to do Chug of Choice, but it has to be a 10% in honor of Ice Queen's birthday. And after that, we are going to be reviewing a couple beers from Chula Vista with one of the owners, Dali, who's gracious enough to be here with us. Thank you.
Hi, Dali.
Hi,
Let's
guys.
go ahead and introduce ourselves. So I'm chugging this 10%er called Have You Tried Unplugging It out of Southern Heights Brewing, which is solid out of Texas. All right, Ice Queen.
Ice Queen, and today I'm going to be chugging, which I'll probably get yelled at for this. The only 10% I had was my Nightmare right here, Nightmare Crucifixion. So has lots of Simcoe in it. So
Nice. Gordy.
I didn't get the memo, totally forgot. So I'm doing a Hot Food by North Park. So 7.5. So I'm a win today, guys.
You owe us 3%, bro.
Close enough.
Bruja.
Hi, Happy Bruja here. So I'm going to be a party crasher doing a 5.5% IPA. This is LIC Beer Project out of New York.
Cool. Just got to have two of them to make it even.
Right.
Al.
Beer lover here. I'm going to be kicking back the Lock City Intellectual 8, if you can see the can, 10%er, and Motueka, Roaku, and Sabro hop combo. Good stuff.
Nice. Ricky.
All right, Ricky with the good beers here. I'm going to be chugging a triple mosaic dream, other half New York, 10.5%.
Nice. Rich.
Drunken Monkey here. I'm going to be chugging a Highland Park Green Cheek and Track collab called What Could Go Wrong.
Dude, that's so good.
Oh my
It's
God.
a triple IPA, 10%.
Hopefully I have another can so you can enjoy it.
Yeah.
Jay
You're going
Hump.
to taste a lot of peaches on that.
Jay Hump.
Crab Wetness here. Thanks to Gordy. He gave me this triple IPA right here from Alvarado Street. Quadruple dry hop,
Nice.
10.5%. Thanks,
And,
Gordy.
of course,
You're
our
welcome.
guest, Dolly.
yeah, hey guys. So
Welcome.
I'm gonna be making the Güerita, which is our blonde ale. It's 5.6%, and we make this with Centennial and Citron.
Awesome.
Nice.
So I just want to repeat, you are under no obligation to chug with us. But we are chugging the first one. Al, you are in the center. Go ahead and count us down.
Wow.
Oh, snap.
Get our glasses up.
Get right into it, baby.
Okay. All right, people. On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Cheers.
Cheers.
Happy birthday.
Cheers.
Oh, that's so good.
So tasty.
You know what? I was thinking the same thing. It's been a long time since I actually enjoyed it, and it wasn't like a mess, overly carbonated or too bitter.
Started off blueberries, but then it was just straight fire afterwards.
This is so. Like the bubbles are stinging my tongue.
Ruba, your face said everything. You didn't have to say anything. Your face said it all. It's like,
Very, very tropical.
That was really, really good.
I mean, I'm glad we all got a good chug this time. Sometimes we don't get it.
So before we actually,
This one does taste like peach rings.
nice.
Yeah, it's supposed to be peach rings, and that really comes off on that.
Mhm.
That was really good.
So before we actually get into any of these, Dolly, is there anything you'd like us to know about your brewery?
Yeah, we've been around since 2017. We are Chula Vista, so we're, if you know San Diego, south of downtown and about 10 minutes from the Mexican international border. So that's pretty much our place right between that. We're excited to be here. We're going on 4 years, and we just really, my husband, he is a sailor, retired Navy chief, and so he was always on deployments, traveling the world, and he would always come home and tell me, I had this really great beer somewhere, in Australia, or amazing craft beer, but we couldn't find it here. I'm talking about 20 years plus. So he was running down one time here in our neighborhood, and he saw an empty suite, and he's like, that's it. that's what we're doing. And, he's obviously a sailor. He loves to drink, loves craft beer. And so there really wasn't anything in our particular neighborhood that we can go to that we could call like our neighborhood brewery. So here we are.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Excellent. Excellent.
So since we're actually interviewing you as well, we did have you on today as the guest for the special topic of women in craft beer. Is there any questions anybody has regarding that, other than the incredible difficulty I'm assuming it is? Anybody?
Well, I mean, obviously, the one thing, when we did have another woman here last time, she was faced with a lot of adversity because it's a male-dominated field. But she's in New York, and the question is it different then? Like, I mean, like, is your experience the same thing where you get a lot of obstacles in your way because you're a woman in the field?
It is a great question. It is a very male-dominated field. And so one of the things that I feel in terms of, I wouldn't say challenges, but I want to make sure, like for me here in our brewery, it's important for me to foster and have a brewery that makes women feel comfortable and safe. And so, they're also expanding their palates and trying new beers that they haven't necessarily tried in the past. So ensuring that we are just, being able to enhance those palates, have those conversations. Women's palate is different from a men's taste and palate. So being able to identify, what are they enjoying? What's different? What's a different style of beer that we can make that's going to be enjoyable to both audiences, both male and female, and anybody really that just enjoys great beer.
I'm curious. I've heard that women have way better sense of color than men. Like men can't differentiate between certain colors of red or black or whatever it is. Do you feel that maybe women should be the better brewers because they might have a better sense of different variations in taste as well?
That's a great point. I feel like we have a voice, we have something to say. We're here in the industry. And so in terms of taste and voice, and for example, when I think of great brewers, I think of Jennifer Glanville over at Samuel Adams. I mean, she's been rocking the industry over there with them and creating amazing beers like the Utopia, So I feel like we have a lot of discussions between my husband and I and everybody here in the brewery, and we say, okay, what do you enjoy? What do you not necessarily, what he enjoys is far different from what he's a big, heavy IPA drinker. For me, I tend to enjoy the lagers and the pilsners. I don't know if that's just because of my culture. I was raised with lagers, being Mexican, with the, Mexican beers. So there's definitely a difference in the selections that we go, but we try to do our best to implement both to make sure we're both also brewing what we both enjoy.
Cool. So which of the two beers do you or Sam recommend we start off with?
I would suggest definitely, since we're talking about IPAs, go with the Hilltop. It's one of our staple 7.5 nice coffee. And so being in San Diego, we love our IPA, especially our West Coast IPA. So we're this is definitely a brewery. I mean, I don't know what part of
very classic color. I like that.
Thank you. Time you guys are in, but we're very hop forward here. And that's something that in our particular neighborhood, we have a big Latino population. About 68% of our community is Latino. We have a lot of Filipino and Mexican-based communities that we're in. And so when my dad first started trying some of our beers, especially the IPAs, he was like, wow, mija, this tastes like zacate, which means grass. So being able to try my dad something, for example, like blonde or lager, and working with his palate, and he is right. It that's a good description, grassy, for the beer. So being able to have fun with what we're doing and just really enjoying the process of what we're doing here.
That's awesome.
Right away when I see the can, I see the you did a Nugget and Cascade. So Nugget, you get that high resonance, right? That without even tasting it, I can already feel it. Like I know it's gonna be that really resonance, especially with the Nugget and the Cascades together.
Absolutely.
My goodness, though, that clarity. Holy no.
That's pretty awesome.
That is.
Where's the haze?
No haze.
Void
no
of all
haze.
I was just saying this to Sam not too long ago. She was, her and I traded some cans, and I had gotten this particular one in the initial package a while ago. I actually wrote something on it on my Instagram, and I always said that this. Well, I just said to her, "This is a solid depiction representation of a West Coast IPA. It's
Yeah.
those grassy, piney, like
Smooth and crisp.
citrus,
That's what I'm getting.
dry and finished, long pine resinous finish. It's really tasty."
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Classic
But the
West
only
Coast.
citrus I get, it was like that Cascade grapefruit, you know. That's about. But I do love the maltiness of a West Coast. I mean, I as much as I love because I'm on the East Coast. As much as I love the East Coast hazies, man, I always enjoy something like this.
I'm out here in Southern California too, and I think it is so difficult to find a true classic West Coast. And this has by far like met every expectation ever.
It's all points.
Like, yeah, thank you so much for this. This is amazing.
Yes, it is very good.
Yeah, nice and smooth. I like that.
And the
Definitely,
name is actually one of the neighborhoods here in Chula Vista's Hilltop, right? You guys named it after that. Are you from Hilltop, or I know you're from area?
Yeah, absolutely. South Bay. So Hilltop is a local neighborhood and community and high school. And so part of why we decided to go with that is just we opened up the brewery. You see that people are running into each other here at the brewery pre-COVID, you know, people that hadn't seen each other since they were kids or in high school, and they're running into each other here, friends and neighbors and relatives running into each other here at the brewery. So that's really special for us. And the can also has a map of, you know, Chula Vista. So if you look at the can, we also have the map of Chula Vista and the sun, which is, you know, resembling our community, our, you know, city logo. So we try to incorporate a lot of our community into the beers that we make and the names that we pick for our beers. We have a single hopped pale right now that we did at ode to Sierra Nevada. And so we feel like the name of that beer is called Beautiful View. And so if you translate the name Chula Vista, it translates in Spanish to Beautiful View. And so we try to do a lot of the names what's local to us, to what's home.
To the community, yeah. I can't wait. Specifically, I live out in Otay, so I'm like waiting for the East Lake place, but I don't mind going downtown to Chula Vista because the atmosphere is really awesome and everybody's super nice. There's little shops everywhere, and now I know COVID has been really hard on all the businesses, so we all will drink like. We call them like the hype beers. We drink those, but every single one of us always loves to tote our town beers. And I'm always saying, you got to try Chula Vista, you know, and so we all do that. I'm always partial to you guys because you're here and the beer is great. And I know during the peak of COVID, when everything was super locked down here, you guys were delivering to the houses and like really getting out there. So I appreciate it. And I love West Coast beers, and this one was really good. So,
thank you. Absolutely, we appreciate that. Yeah, COVID had us definitely had us adapt and shift quickly to, you know, what our plans were as a business, and I think, you know, that for everybody, we quickly had to adapt. Our East Lake project, we're planning to open that, so we're creating another brewery brew pub in the east part of Chula Vista, and so being able. Our plan was, if it was up to us, we would have already been open last year, but, you know, you go through the nuances of the permitting, the licenses, and, you know, obviously COVID now, which halted everything. And so we were planning to get into canning and distributing when we opened these. Like, so we were really pushing that off until we had that production facility over there. But what COVID did for us was it forced us really, you know, in order to stay sustainable in this market was, you know, we had to invest in a canning machine and really start canning because about 90% of our, you know, sales came from our tap room. And with that being closed, we really had to get creative. And so if I had to describe 2020 for us, it would have been getting creative with everything that we're doing, flexibility, adapt, and move on really and be safe. Being safe, you know, for ourselves, for our team, for our customers. So we're really excited. We're still moving forward with the East Lake project, and we're hoping to open that in about March of April of this year. So we're excited to go to the east part of town.
Nice.
Yes,
So
I did see you just hired the new head brewer for that also, right?
Yeah, we just brought someone on the team. His name is Ignacio Cervantes. He comes from Pizza Port family.
Nice.
Actually, our brewer actually comes from the Lost Abbey Pizza Port family as well. So
Nice.
really good friends. So, you know, creating together and, you know, having him join our team, we're just really excited and we can't wait to just start, you know, brewing over there and getting our beer out to everyone.
That's awesome.
So quick
Corey?
question. Are you guys shipping statewide, or are you guys just keeping it down in Chula Vista area, San Diego area?
We actually just started looking into e-commerce, and so initially we were doing just all local home deliveries. We started getting into the local Bevmos and grocery stores and liquor stores here in our area. But as of last week, we started already the process of getting into the state, so all of California, to where we could ship our beer. So right now we're just gonna be able to do that within our state. We're really excited about that.
Nice.
So one thing I just want to make sure I pause is we get really excited when we have a brewer or special guest. So I just want to give Rich and J Hump a second. If you guys want to ask a question, you guys have been a little quiet, or give feedback on the beer.
So unfortunately, I didn't get that beer. The package that I got from Sam, I only got the one beer because the package busted open or something. Mail said that it was damaged. So I only got the one beer, so I don't have the Hilltop.
Okay, we'll review that.
Thanks, Cisco. Thanks, Cisco.
So I'll be commenting this next. But the only thing I was gonna say was I trade beer with Samantha a lot, and she pretty much always puts at least one can from Chula Vista Brewery in there. I'm in Maryland, so it's not accessible to me except through trade, and she always hooks it up. Every time I've had a beer from Chula Vista Brewery, it's always been solid. So just great job. When next time I'm on the West Coast, I definitely look forward to visiting the brewery and tasting what's on tap and stuff like that. Hopefully when all this is over, but
I'll be there with you.
Hell yeah.
We'll all be there.
Thank you, guys.
So if I could ask about COVID, do you guys have outside seating set up right now?
We do. We just started this week. So we just started back to outdoor capacity. So the city, we didn't necessarily have a patio at all. So the city was kind enough to grant us some parking spaces that we've converted into our outside area.
That's cool.
Nice.
Yeah, it's very, very nice. And, you know, all of the small businesses on the block, I mean, we've all had to overcome all these challenges. So what was challenging this particular week on being able to reopen was the weather. You know, we're so nice here in San Diego where we have 70, 75 degree weather all year. The first week we were allowed to reopen, it was like the biggest thunderstorms and rain.
Right.
Man, how are we? You know, you had canopies literally flying off the block that, you know, we were all neighbors helping.
It was
each
crazy
other.
last weekend.
It was, absolutely. So, you know, just overcoming those hurdles of, you know, sharing with customers, hey, make sure you bring a coat. You know, we're all happy to see you. And, you know, we have some heaters out there and let's just all enjoy some beer.
Awesome.
So are you guys strictly just a brewery, or do you guys also have like a food truck, or do you guys have food there, or how does your location work out?
Yeah. With food for the meal component, we partner up with the local restaurant, and we have food vendors too that we work with.
Cool.
We, unfortunately, the restaurant that we were partnering up with, they are officially going out of business today. And those are some of the results that, you know, you see with COVID, and it's just the reality that we're in, that not everybody's going to be able to hang in there. It's sad to watch. It's really sad, but we are fortunate enough to also have other food vendors that, you know, we put on our calendar and have out here. We have a really good barbecue family, small owned as well, veteran owned too, that we work with, called Oaks and Anchors. And so they are actually the food source that's partnering up with us in Eastlake to run the kitchen component over there. So we'll be doing barbecue and beer.
That's awesome.
Oh, definitely have to go visit.
Yes.
No best combination than barbecue and beer.
Yeah.
You got brisket, we're all there.
Right, tip sandwich. Let's do this.
So can I ask a quick question about like your starting and when you first began? I know, like you said that you guys were in like a predominantly neighborhood of color and stuff like that. Was it difficult to get people to start trying IPAs and everything else, like brown ales and stuff like that? Because I know, like you said, traditionally where we came from is lagers and pilsners. Was it a little bit of a pushback to get people to like,
Absolutely. I think, we're so conditioned, we're raised to enjoy, with my family, for example, I grew up on the Pacificos and the Modelos and, the lighter
Same.
styles of beers. And so when they come in here, they have just so much flavor that they're enjoying. Even if you get a blonde, I mean, it's so much more hoppier than, what you're probably used to or were used to, growing up with what was introduced by, your family members or your family unit or friends. And so being able to identify, okay, what is it that, and being able to encourage people to get out of their comfort zone and get creative and want to try new things. And so also understanding that, having those conversations with what do you usually enjoy at home, being able to identify what's a good starting beer. And then from there, as one thing I love about our brewery is building relationships because, our customers are our friends. And then so every time we have a new beer out is being able to get excited about sharing what our new brews are and, really pushing people to try new things that they wouldn't ordinarily try, like you said, the brown, because the color might be intimidating. It might not be necessarily something that they always lean for, but once they try it, can see just it's enjoyed, and so that's been really fun for us.
Is this
Speaking of the
Hilltop?
brown, can we crack into it before Bruja asks her question, or while Bruja asks her question? Go ahead, Bruja.
Let's do it.
I was just gonna ask, is the Hilltop one of your like flagships?
It is.
It is okay, because like what I'm getting from it, to me, you're talking about it's like a lot of people are into lagers and pilsners, like in our culture. Would you consider
That's
that
right.
this is, or would you think that maybe this is possibly closer to just like a hoppy lager or pilsner? Because like I'm getting a lot of that biscuit,
Yes,
a lot of
yes.
like it's super crisp and it's just like super hopped
Yeah.
up. So I'm thinking like if I didn't know it was an IPA, I would have thought this was just a lager to begin with.
Yeah.
Absolutely, and that's something that we enjoy playing. We have fun playing with things and doing things. For example, like it took us a long time to get into the hazy craze. Not because we were getting asked for it so much, but in terms of were we drinking it, and so we weren't necessarily drinking it ourselves, and it was something that was pushing us out of our comfort zone to brew. And so once we actually
Yeah.
All right, so it's a husband-wife team, basically, like your brewery.
Can you repeat that?
It's a husband-wife team, obviously, like your brewery.
Yeah,
Okay, so who is the one with all of this knowledge and information on how to brew beer? Because this is, again, another great depiction of what a American brown ale should be.
Thank you.
100%, 100%.
Yeah, I gotta give credit. If you look at the can, his signature is actually on there. James Hodges. So
I did
you
notice
see-
that, yes.
Yeah, so we put his signature there, and so he's amazing friend, that we have here, and he is just incredible. And the styles that we are creating are just really top notch. And we
100%
really
on
take-
point. 100% on point with what a brown ale is. It's
This is
got
definitely good.
maltiness, it's sweet, it's nutty, some chocolatey notes, a little bit of caramel notes in it. It's really on point with what
Little bittersweet.
I'm glad
Cascade,
Al's
right?
here.
Cascade and Centennial.
Yeah, we tend to use a lot of the what I call the C hops. A lot of the Chinook, Centennial, Cascade.
Yeah.
A lot of just really what pretty much right now I have a beer called Triple C because we brewed them all with hops that start with C. So we're big on that here.
The good thing about those hops, you get a lot of earthiness. You know what I mean? A lot of that really nice bitterness, little earthy.
This is excellent.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It is.
And I really
is
like
really
brown
good.
ales. And sorry, go ahead.
No, you're good, but this is like definitely like a European brown. That's what I'm getting out of this.
I mean, I've had a
good.
good amount of brown ales. The last one I had that was really great was from another company, but this is really on point. So great job on this one. Really.
I'm not a brown.
Yeah, unfortunately,
ale.
I didn't get the Hilltop can, but I did get the glass. which I
Nice.
love.
Nice.
You got a glass?
And-
What the heck,
Wait a
bro?
minute. Wait a minute. Why
Listen,
didn't we
yeah,
get?
what's
Why
up
didn't we
there,
get glasses?
Screen, what's going
Wow.
on, man? We all
Wait,
trade
Damn,
with her.
Sam.
So you weren't supposed to tell everybody that.
Rich, can you hold that glass up again?
Yeah, let's see that
That's
glass.
out of the
We
bag.
want to see. Wow,
Hey,
look at
that
that.
logo is
Oh,
actually pretty
man.
dope. I like that. That's
Yeah.
a dope
So,
logo.
and then on the other side, it says "For the love of Chula."
Nice.
Yes.
Oh, nice.
There you go. There you
It's a
go.
dope logo.
There you go. Ice cream.
It is a really nice logo. It's like it's the way it's set up and the way it's created. So you could tell it's that logo right away from looking at it.
Well, you can
Yeah.
definitely
Cool
tell
logo.
the San Diego
I like how you
logo.
have the map on your cans. It's pretty dope.
Take your orders later.
So wait, Cisco, you're not a big fan of brown ales?
Yeah, I'm not a big brown ale person, period. But
Cool.
this reminds me of some of the English ales I've had at some
Right.
pubs.
Mhm.
So it kind of just took me back right away. I love this one pub. They have two of them called The Ship over here. It's the only real English pub I've ever been to that I liked in California. So this just took me right back there, which I missed since I haven't been there in a year. So thank you for that.
Yeah,
It's,
I'm gonna have to agree with you.
awesome.
This took me back to like about 15 years ago when I started getting into more different kind of beers, and this is really good.
Jay
I'm
Hump,
And I think we've said it before. We've said it before. Oh, sorry, Bruno. Go ahead.
Jay Hump had a question.
Yeah, Jay
actually.
Hump.
Okay,
First.
so I've been wanting to ask a question about our topic, which is women in
Thank
in the
you.
craft beer industry. First of all, I love everything that you're doing. Everything you're doing is about the community and all that. I love that. But do you have any type of advice or any advice for women who wants to be in the beer industry or on your level?
Yeah, absolutely. Get into a brewery as soon as you can, whether that's mentoring with a mentor or just offering time to volunteer or any way you can get your foot in the door in a brewery. That's your first step, because really getting to know the process from beginning back end to front end is really crucial. So definitely join your local like guilds or just beer groups like you guys. Absolutely. I think what you guys are doing is great, and definitely there's a lot of groups out there, whether it's on Facebook or Instagram, a lot of beer, get into craft beer, get into sharing it like what you guys are doing, and really just expanding your palate. Go to your local breweries, because that's really the best way. Go within your neighborhood, go within your local, and start there.
Well, actually, we have a woman brewer in our group, the Hoppy Brewhouse. She's always brewing her stuff, so we got to give her props.
Absolutely.
Thanks.
And
I do have a
and
question.
kind of.
Brew
Oh, I
Hut,
was
go
I was
ahead.
just gonna say that to build on your point, Dali, is that one of the things that we've done a lot on this podcast is we've done a lot of not so well known breweries, like hometown breweries that aren't the big hype breweries, and
Yeah.
a lot of us really prefer that over the ones that you see all over Instagram and stuff like that. Like the monkish is good, and the 450s or whatever. Like those are okay, but like we really do like the hometown type breweries,
Totally.
because they really are under the radar, solid brews all the time. Like I said, I've gotten a lot of Chula Vista, and it's always been solid. I've never been disappointed.
Especially with the small breweries, we appreciate the effort you guys put into it. That's for sure.
Agreed. Bruja?
I forgot.
It was
So
referencing women in craft.
Ricky, go
I'm
ahead.
so sorry.
I love you, Dude.
I forgot too. I was 10%
Okay.
hit me.
That means your
I
beer
feel
is
like a
good.
jerk.
If I could get in, I really appreciate the fact that not only are you guys inclusive as far as women, since you're an owner, but I really like the fact. I don't know if you guys could see me or not, because my
Yeah, we can.
cut out.
Yeah, we
Okay,
can.
Yeah, we
cool.
got you.
We can.
You're still
Anyways.
very good looking. You're still a good looking guy.
I appreciate it.
My twin.
Oh, there we go. So my question was just, when I was drinking the West Coast IPA, it almost brought me back to some of the times where I've had a Tecate when I was in Mexico. And as a Mexican, do you guys feel like maybe that kind of influences the kind of beer that you want to put out? Because like you said, around your area, it's a people of color and a lot of Mexicanos.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like for me, like, I tend to, some beers can be, especially here in San Diego where it's always 70, 75 degrees. I'll gravitate to our lager when we are lucky to have that, because it does take us longer to brew that and the way it ferments and everything. So the turnover is, we won't have it as available as some of our other beers on rotation as quickly. But definitely, being Mexican for me, I definitely want to see a lager up there. I want to see like the blonde that I'm drinking right now, super easy, light, crisp, refreshing, easy day drinking, crushable beer. And so I really want to see up there things that I enjoy, but also factor that in with my husband. He's from Southside Chicago. And so he is definitely more, like I said, IPAs, double IPAs. We have one called Humble that's 9.3. That's to be one of our, top beers, and that's kind of what we're known for. And so when we have that on rotation, that's definitely a beer that we all gravitate to. It's just it's strong, but it's so smooth and subtle. And so definitely, our backgrounds and our neighborhoods and, the way we were raised really has everything to do with what we're creating here.
That's awesome.
Yeah. But
We have
we
about
to hear from folks like what do you want to see on the board? What is it? Something we only have 12 taps, but if we're, for example, we're not being big on sours. We'll brew them once in a while, particularly more a kettle sour because it's quicker for us to produce. But if there's ever something not on the board that our customers want to see up there, definitely, I love it when people pull me aside and really want to talk to me about the beer, really want to tell me about what they're getting, what they enjoy, what they would like to see up there that we don't necessarily have, because it's really those conversations that spark that creativity.
So my question is, have you seen more of the Hispanic people turning into the whole West Coast IPA style now?
Yeah.
Because I know we all grew up with the whole lagers and pils that you guys were saying, but we had I think it was the Dos Equis Amber, and I think that kind of like influenced or like kind of like try to get different like taste buds off of it. But have you seen more? Yeah, but have you seen more Hispanics start going to the West Coast IPAs, trying to venture out of the normal pilsners and lagers?
Absolutely. I think, everyone's palate is increasing, it's maturing. People are identifying now because there is so much great craft beer out there. You're really figuring out what you like, what you don't like, and really getting experimental and trying new things. And I think at the end of the day, everybody just loves a really good beer, high quality, because you can taste, something that doesn't taste as well as something that, you can tell if, the ingredients there are up to par, and, your tongue will tell you that. So I really appreciate, just people's experimental, getting out of their normal, what they would normally drink, and try new things. And, absolutely, I definitely see a lot, especially here in San Diego, everybody's always really drinking IPA. But one thing that I really enjoy is women, a lot of the times they'll come, they haven't necessarily had an IPA, but they've heard, when they go to the bars with their boyfriends or whatnot, they hear a lot of the men getting the IPAs. So they'll order it, not necessarily knowing what it covers, what it entails, not expecting the bitterness and the hop forwardness of that. And so really having those educational conversations and really being able to let them know, hey, you're really going to love this double IPA. Might not be necessarily what you're used to, but if you give it a shot, you'll really enjoy it.
Nice.
Yeah.
so.
There
with
is a beer
that-
for everybody.
Yes, agreed. With that, we are running low on time.
Less than
Is
2
there
minutes.
any last minute question somebody really wants to get out? No.
No
Okay.
questions. I'm just saying love to everybody out there. What you guys are doing, I appreciate Ice Cream for getting us this. I appreciate you guys for
Thank you,
making
Ice
this.
Cream, and happy belated birthday.
Yes, happy birthday.
25.
Happy birthday too. Yeah, happy belated. Thank you guys for doing this.
Thank
I
you.
think what you guys are all doing is really
Thank you
incredible.
for the beer. It's a great,
Awesome. Yeah, thanks.
great
Yeah.
product.
So
Thank you for being so nice about it too, because sometimes when we approach breweries, they're like, "Get out of here." So we appreciate
On the
it.
podcast.
We're just a little podcast, but we really
Go
do.
away.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
you were a great conversation.
You don't have enough followers. Leave.
I think you were one of the best conversations we've had. So
agreed.
thank you so much.
Sure, absolutely, yeah.
I appreciate
Kept it going.
See you guys. If you guys are ever here in Chula Vista, please come down and pay a visit. We'll be happy
Absolutely.
to see you.
We'll definitely
Remember our
stop by.
faces.
Absolutely.
Yes, remember these faces
Stop
because
it.
we will be there. With that being said,
Jay,
I think we're gonna wrap it up here. And
All right, guys.
I speak for everybody once I say thank you, Dali. We
Very
really
much.
appreciate
Cheers
you
to
being here.
Dali.
Yeah.
Everybody,
Cheers.
Cheers,
Cheers.
Dali.
thank you.
Much love.